find yourself humming a tune from the past and suddenly realize you've got no idea who sang it? 1965 was packed with legends, but tucked between the Beatles and the Stones were songs that lit up the charts, then disappeared just as fast. These weren't flukes, they were moments. Some made you dance, some made you feel something, and all of them had one thing in common. They came, they hit, and then nothing. Today, we're rewinding to uncover the one-hit wonders of 1965, 10 unforgettable tracks, plus possibly some bonus tracks that may have faded from the spotlight, but never from your memories. Stick around. Some of these you haven't heard in decades, but they're about to come rushing back. Liar, Liar, The Castaways. That falsetto? Unmistakable. The second you hear it, you're back in 1965. Liar, Liar hit the airwaves like a garage band dare. Scratchy guitars, a pounding beat, and a voice that jumped up an octave just to get your attention.
See, I love you. Make a little effort, try to be true. I'll be happy, not so blue.
The Castaways were just teens from Minnesota, but somehow this scrappy little track climbed all the way to number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. Maybe you danced to it at a sock hop or blasted it from a battery-powered radio under your pillow. They never hit the charts again. But this track, it didn't need a sequel. The Duck, Jackie Lee. It wasn't about the lyrics, it was about the groove. Can one dance move carry an entire song? In 1965, The Duck had people sliding, dipping, and flapping their arms across dance floors, whether they knew the moves or not. Jackie Lee wasn't a household name, but this funky, horn-driven track got him all the way to number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100. If you ever tried The Duck, you probably smiled doing it. It was pure fun, the kind of song that made you want to jump up at a party, even if you didn't know what you were doing. One hit, one dance, and a memory that still makes people smile. The Boy from New York City. The ad-libs snap, shuffle, and smooth all the way through. Ever hear a song that makes you walk a little cooler? This was it. In 1965, The Boy from New York City brought a cool swagger to the airwaves. Tight harmonies, a catchy sax riff, and a vibe straight out of a corner diner jukebox. The Ad-Libs were a doo-wop group out of Bayonne, New Jersey, and this was their big shot, one that took them to number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100. Maybe it played at your school dance or on a jukebox you haven't thought about in years. They faded fast, but that boy and that song stuck around. Keep on Dancing, the Gentrys. It started, then started again. Same riff, same beat, like the record had a second wind. Ever play a song just to keep the party going? This one literally did it for you. In 1965, Keep on Dancing came crashing in with pounding drums and a garage rock groove you couldn't shake off. The Gentrys were high school kids from Memphis, and with a bit of studio trickery, this short track looped itself into a number. 4th spot on the Billboard Hot 100. You might have heard it at a teen dance or on a jukebox that didn't know when to quit. They had energy, heart, and one real shot. And this was it. Treat Her Right, Roy Head and the Traits. It wasn't smooth. It was sweaty, stomping, and full of fire. Ever hear a song that sounds like it's being shouted from a Texas bar stage? In 1965, Treat Her Right stormed the charts with a mix of blues, soul, and pure attitude, and Roy Head rode that wave to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. He didn't look like a soul man, but when he hit that first note, you listened. Maybe you tried to match those moves, or at least felt a little tougher with it playing in the background. He never landed another big hit, but for one explosive moment, Roy Head owned the stage. Concrete and Clay, Unit 4+2. It felt like summer in the middle of a British invasion.
You to me are sweet as roses in the morning.
Not every hit in 65 was loud. Some just made you smile without trying. Concrete and Clay blended folk guitar with a hint of bossa nova, and somehow it worked.
I see the purple shades of evening, and on the ground, shadows fall.
Unit 4 plus 2 weren't rock stars, just a group of English guys who found the right sound at the right time. The result? A soft spoken hit that reached number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100. You might remember it playing from a neighbor's open window or as background music to something you can't quite place, but still remember how it felt. They faded out quickly, but this one lingers like a breeze on a quiet day. Love is a five-letter word, James Phelps. It didn't shout. It didn't need to.
I'll tell you what love is. Oh, yeah. And this is no lie.
Sometimes a voice just walks into a room and owns it. In 1965, James Phelps stepped out of gospel and into soul with Love is a Five-Letter Word, a smooth, aching track that climbed to number 66 on the Billboard Hot 100.
It's easy. Oh, yeah. But sometimes it'll get you by.
No gimmicks, just rich vocals, a slow groove, and lyrics that hit home. Maybe you heard it late at night when the world was quiet and your heart wasn't. It was his only hit, but it didn't feel like a fluke. It felt like the kind of song that only had to happen once. You Were on My Mind, We Five bright, breezy, and bursting with harmonies.
I got troubles, I got worries,
Ever hear a song that feels like opening the windows on the first warm day of spring? In 1965, You Were on My Mind took folk pop to new heights, clean vocals, jangly guitars, and a rhythm that kept building until it practically shouted your feelings for you.
but I woke up this morning, you were on my mind.
We Five weren't household names, but this track rocketed them to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. You might remember it from a drive down the coast, or from a time when someone really was on your mind. They vanished after this, but the sound they left behind still echoes. Little Miss Sad, the Five Empress. It didn't sound polished, and that was the charm. Garage bands weren't supposed to last, but sometimes they left behind gold. Little Miss Sad was rough around the edges, with a driving beat and vocals that felt more like a warning than a love song. In 1965, it managed to sneak onto the charts, peaking at number 74 on the Billboard Hot 100. Not huge, but just enough to make a dent. If you ever had a mixtape with one weird little track no one else knew, this might have been it. The Five Empress didn't chart again, but this one, it's still buzzing in the background of the garage rock story. You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, the Silky. It wasn't the Beatles, but it had their blessing.
Here I stand, head in hand, turn my face to the wall.
Sometimes a cover doesn't just copy, it quietly reimagines. In 1965, British folk group The Silky released their version of You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, stripping it down to bare harmonies and acoustic sincerity.
I even try, I can never win.
John Lennon himself helped produce it, and that gave it just enough push to reach number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. You might remember this one playing during quiet moments, the kind that linger after a long day. They never followed it up, but maybe they didn't need to. Some songs speak once and stay heard. I Know a Place, Petula Clark. She invited you in with a smile and a song.
Every day when the work is behind you and shop and the store with the lock on the door.
Ever needed an escape you could reach with just a radio dial? In 1965, Petula Clark followed up Downtown with I Know a Place, a bright, piano-driven tune that promised there was always somewhere to go when things felt heavy.
Comes, there's so much to do, you better put on your best and wear a smile. Just come along with me a while.
It climbed to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, giving listeners a musical getaway wrapped in upbeat optimism. Maybe you heard it while getting ready to go out, or sang along without even realizing it. Clark had other hits in the UK, but in the US, this one stood tall. A friendly voice that made everything feel just a little bit lighter. I Got You, Babe, Sonny and Cher. It wasn't just a love song, it became the love song.
Say we're young and we don't know. We won't find out till we grow.
Ever hear something so simple, so sincere, that it just stuck? In 1965, Sonny and Cher's I Got You Babe topped the charts with a message as plain as it was powerful. No matter what the world says, we've got each other. It soared to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, turning two unlikely pop stars into a household name, even if just for a little while. You might remember it from the radio, or maybe from a movie moment that made you smile. They had other songs, but this was the one that lasted. A little cheesy, a little sweet, and impossible not to sing along with. All of them hit once and then vanished. But they didn't really disappear. They stayed in the background, in your memories, in old radios, in quiet corners of the internet, waiting to be heard again. So tell us, which one brought it all back for you? Drop your favorite in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you love finding the songs time almost forgot. Because sometimes one hit is all it takes.